Welcome to Wrestling with Snipes. Today we'll be reviewing AEW Dynamite for March 12th, 2025, the aftermath of AEW Revolution. Dynamite kicks off with the new international champion Kenny Omega. Omega spoke about his recovery and returning to the ring and finally being able to capture AEW singles gold. Then Kenny Omega spoke about the upcoming AEW Dynasty International Championship Elimination Tournament. There will be 4 single matches between Dynamite and Collision this week, and the 4 winners will meet on Dynamite next week to crown a new #1 contender for the International Championship, and the winner will move on to Dynasty to challenge Kenny Omega. Tonight on Dynamite, it will be Orange Cassidy versus Hechicero, and the Beast Mortis goes one-on-one with a wild card. And then this Saturday on Collision, Mark Briscoe goes one-on-one with Mark Davis, and Shibata goes one-on-one with Ricochet. Omega says whoever is going to challenge me for this title at Dynasty is going to have to earn it. Then Omega bids everyone a good night, and as he's leaving, he runs into the Ops. The first match of the evening is a trios match with the Ops going 3-on-3 with Vinny Pacifico, Gabriel Arrows, and Eli Thesis. Who? Not sure what the point of this trios match was. It was a squash. The Ops make quick work of those 3 ham and eggers. Then in the back we see Ricochet complaining about how he got screwed last Sunday at the pay-per-view. Ricochet says this Sunday I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to beat Shibata and I'm going to win the Fatal 4-Way next week on Dynamite and challenge Kenny Omega for the International Championship. Next, out comes Hologram with Harley Graham. So this is what they're doing with Harley Cameron after that hot streak and the title shot at Grand Slam Australia. Come on now, what are we doing here? They really executed on her potential, didn't they? And Hologram's tag team match for this upcoming tag team contest is Powerhouse Hobbs. And their opponents was Brian Cage and Dralistico. What kind of tag team match is this? Did I miss Holistico joining the Don Callis family or something? During the match, Hologram went for a suicide dive and Brian Cage caught him perfectly to convert into a suplex on the outside of the floor. It was magnificent. Probably the best counter of the evening. Powerhouse Hobbs ended up getting the pinfall to give the win to Powerhouse Hobbs and Hologram. Then they showed a really good package of the history between Toni Storm and Mariah May and how it all finished up at Revolution. Then next, out comes the AEW Women's World Champion, Timeless Toni Storm. Toni Storm speaks on the entranceway and she says, "It's time for a new beginning." Toni Storm says AEW has the best women's locker room in the history of professional wrestling. I'm guessing she has not seen NXT. Oh yeah. Then Toni Storm gets attacked from behind by Megan Bayne. So it looks like they're going to rush Megan Bayne into the title picture after only having about 3 or 4 matches in AEW. Hopefully they don't rush this rivalry and they let it cook. The next contest was a first-round match in the AEW Dynasty International Championship Elimination Tournament where the Beast Mortos went against the mystery partner who ended up being Speedball Mike Bailey. Speedball is all elite. Have we seen the Beast Mortis win a match on Dynamite recently at all within like the last year? I don't think I have. I mean, it is Speedball's debut, so you know Speedball Mike Bailey is going to pick up the victory in this match. But we could use a little suspense here. Speedball does go a little crazy. He hits tons of high-risk maneuvers, laying it all out on the line. It is a very entertaining match, and as Speedball picks up the victory, we see him moving on to the 4-way match next week to crown a #1 contender to challenge Kenny Omega for the International Championship at Dynasty. Next out comes Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. Max says this thing between me and Adam Page is not over. It's far from over. Then out of nowhere, here comes MVP of the Hurt Syndicate. MVP looks puzzled why MVP is walking out to the ring. They go face to face and then they hug, a big ol' huggeroo in the middle of the ring. MVP then talks about his history with MJF, how he met him when MJF was only 18 years old. MVP says, "MJF, I think you have lost your edge, and nobody fears you anymore." but they do fear the Hurt Syndicate. Then MVP gives MJF his business card, and MJF takes his business card, looks at it, and looks back at MVP, and MVP then walks away. Will MJF join the Hurt Syndicate? Max Caster comes out and issues another open challenge, and it is accepted by the former international champion Takeshita. And Takeshita makes quick work of Caster, beating him in about 45 seconds. And the next contest was Willow Nightingale one-on-one with Penelope Ford. Interesting fact, Penelope Ford has never lost to Willow Nightingale. Well, until tonight, the undefeated streak ends and Willow Nightingale picks up the victory. But after the match, Penelope Ford attacks Willow Nightingale with a chair, but then out of nowhere, here comes Chris Statlander to make the save, taking out Penelope Ford. Then out of nowhere again tonight we see Megan Bayne take down Chris Statlander just moments after taking down Timeless Tony Storm. Then Megan Bayne picked up Chris Statlander and hit her with the F5. Here comes the pain. Then we go to the back and we see Renee Paquette with the TBS champion, Mercedes Moné, and Zoe Starks. They talk back and forth, and then they confirm next week they will go one-on-one for the TBS Championship. Gee, I wonder who's taking that one. Then next, Tony Schiavone calls out the winner of the steel cage match from Revolution, Will Ospreay. I have no clue what Will Ospreay was talking about at the beginning. He was talking about his girlfriend or wife being mad at him because he jumped off a cage. It was just gibberish, but then he makes an announcement. Will Ospreay will be entering the Owen Cup, as the winner of the Owen Cup will challenge for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at AEW All In Texas. Then it is announced for next week there will be a Revolution rematch for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, as the champion Jon Moxley defends against Cole. So out of all the rematches they could have done from the pay-per-view, they choose the least interesting match on the card to have a rematch next week. Oh yeah. Then in the back we see Renee walking with Hangman when they run into MJF. They basically bicker back and forth, and this rivalry is far from over. Then it was time for the main event of the evening in the first round of the Dynasty International Championship qualifying matches. Orange Cassidy is going one-on-one with Hechicero. Haven't seen Hechicero in quite a while, and probably after tonight won't see him for a while again. So this was very interesting. The bell actually begins at 9:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And 2 minutes later at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when the show is scheduled to end, they are going to their final commercial break. They come back from break at 10:53 Eastern Standard Time, and the match is going on. I'm not sure the overrun is necessary every single week. Either way, the match lasted for about 5 minutes after coming back from the commercial break, and guess what? Orange Cassidy picks up the dub. So Orange Cassidy joins Mike Bailey as two of the participants in the Fatal 4-Way match next week to crown a #1 contender to see who challenges Kenny Omega for the International Championship at AEW Dynasty. We'll catch y'all next week.